Okay, so basically when it comes to accounting, it's any type of financial transactions at the township, whether that's accounts payable, payroll, just operational stuff, making sure that it's getting into our accounting software correctly and making sure it's accounted for accurately. This is actually my favorite part of the job. Budgeting would be looking at previous year's trends, so I like to look at 4 years worth of trends for each account, and also recognize that there's some different patterns, some one-time expenditures, some one-time revenues, account for those. There's also contractual stuff that we have to take into consideration, and basically make sure that the revenues can match the expenses at the end of the day. With the township, the revenues come in throughout the year. Our real estate taxes are due usually at the end of October, or the earned income taxes are due at April. So we have money from a previous year that can get us through some of the beginning of the year. And what we do is we have that money in different types of accounts that earn some interest, but maybe we can't access that very often. But there's different options out there for municipalities to earn some interest on that amount that carries forward. So the way it's supposed to work is that it starts with a requisition. So an individual in a department might recognize that they need to purchase some type of product. So they should enter that into the accounting software. That funnels up to the department head. They can review that request, and then once they approve it, it becomes a purchase order. Once it's a purchase order, you can give it to the vendor, and the vendor knows that it's an authorized purchase. They can process it, then they invoice us. We pay it through a process that goes through the Board of Commissioners. They review the list of all the invoices that we want to pay, and our departments have approved to pay at that board meeting. Once that's approved, we cut the checks and send them out. So that does create a little bit of a timing issue for certain vendors that want paid on their time frame, where we have to really have to worry about the dates of the Board of Commissioners meetings. We definitely encourage diversity at the township. Me personally, I'm not really involved in some of those decisions, but I believe that the decision should be based on merit. There shouldn't be a gender, ethnicity, religious belief that an individual or vendor gets an advantage or a disadvantage. In this type of work in local government, I believe that the individual that offers the greatest benefit to the taxpayer should be the main determinant in the decision. Okay, so the township's debt is split into 2 different categories. We have an annual equipment and vehicle replacement schedule. Those are financed through local banks, and I'll meet with the bank representatives, inform them the amount that the township needs, and then select the bank that offers the lowest cost to finance those purchases. We also have a 20-year bond repayment for the new Public Works building that was taken out in 2015 and built and completed in 2016. Those are really the only 2 debts that the township has. The annual equipment and vehicle replacements is really what I'm more involved in. The bond repayments are really just basic annual payments that we repay a certain amount off, with both an interest piece and also paying off that principal amount. So the capital management, we implemented a 5-year capital improvement plan last year. So that would include the large capital projects such as road improvements, park equipment replacements, vehicle replacements, sanitary sewer line replacements, and building improvements. The plan is basically trying to identify when we're going to handle each of those projects and make sure that we have funding available for those projects. The ultimate goal is to find a reasonable amount that the township can afford each year, and then try to match those projects into those funding. And we try to also supplement the funding with grants when possible so that we can try to maximize those capital replacements.